Sam, if you have died,
Yep, terrific.
let's start that off. You're dead.
It's happened.
We've all mourned you.
We
You're
have.
gone. Now, if you have a choice of how you would like to be resurrected from the dead,
Oh, wow, jeez Louise.
how would you like to come back to this mortal coil?
Okay, so how I come back, not how it happens.
Both, either.
Okay, so my first thought was how it actually happens, and like, what energy do you need to create to make someone come back to life, right?
Yeah, sure.
And then the first thing I thought of was like, it's the World Cup final, and England score this last-minute winner, and the pure joy that erupts from that stadium just somehow brings, someone back to life.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's actually the power that you need.
I'd like to be brought back like Jason in Friday the 13th, Part 6.
Okay, that is specific.
Dig me up from a grave, lightning strike my bones.
Oh, okay, so that's how it happens. All right, I need to.
I think lightning has brought him back a few times, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it does Frankenstein as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely canon.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the G-Spot. It's a place where we glorify and make a case for B, C, and D movies of yesterday and today that, despite being the monsters they are, deserve your attention, respect, and dare I say it, love. And if you're curious, the G stands for Godzilla. And I am one of two intrepid kaiju co-hosts, Raymond, and I'm here with...
This is Sam. I'm the guy who doesn't know much about Godzilla. Very keen to learn. Love the old B schlocky C movies. Watch The Boxer's Omen. That's the best movie I've seen.
What movie is that?
The Boxer's Omen.
The Boxer's Omen?
I believe it's a Hong Kong horror kind of vampire movie from the 70s or 80s. I believe it's Hong Kong, but I think they're working with a Thai film company as well.
I believe you told me about this
one. Yeah,
so okay. I really need to get to it if it's still stuck in your craw.
Oh, for sure.
All right, sweet. Well, we are both here, and today we are talking about someone else who came back from the dead. A dear friend, Godzilla.
Yes, I have questions about
that. We were wondering how long it was going to take for this series to get schlocky.
Yeah.
Do we think we're there yet?
I'm pretty... yeah, we have firmly arrived at Schlocktown. I would say this movie is very much in the vein of movies like the Flintstones in Viva, Rock Vegas, where you have these sequels that lack a certain kind of depth to them that perhaps the original had, but they play up the chaos like really well. And
all the window dressings there.
It's all there, and we're just going to take away the heart, but we're going to fill it with love, because we haven't had love yet. There's going to be laughs. We haven't had laughs yet. And there's more dinosaurs, and there's a lot more destruction. So it's very much like, here we go. Here's what you want. But it's a huge tone shift. Yeah,
we held it back from you because we had a quote-unquote message to send.
That's right. You make one legitimate movie, and then you make the movie you want to make, or whatever.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, I think, and I've really been looking forward to this one. It's my first hole in the Godzilla series.
Yep.
And I should also mention, as I did last time, that I haven't seen many of the movies in this series. I had like 5 or 6 VHS ones from the Showa era, and I should also say that Godzilla films are considered broken down into eras. There's the Showa era, there's the Millennium era, there's one or two in between there, and I think the Showa is the longest currently.
So which one are we in now?
The Showa era.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
great. Okay.
We are currently in the Showa era. I believe it's going to be about 10 or 15 movies in this era. It's the longest one.
Okay.
For sure. And yeah, despite my fandom, I haven't seen many, especially in the Showa era, the old ones. And this would be the first one that I haven't seen. It's also the first film in the franchise that introduces the kaiju versus kaiju format, which is pretty much omnipresent from here on.
Cat is out of the bag.
The cat's out of the bag. We now have what are essentially giant monster wrestling matches on the table.
That's exactly what they are. They look so uncomfortable, but it's a wrestling match.
I didn't expect that adjective to come out of you.
When I was watching, I was like, they must have such sore necks after that. Like
the actors?
Yeah. So we can get into it later, but I was just like, man, I wouldn't want that job.
The guy playing Anguirus, man. Oh, you got to be on your...
Oh man. I was trying to figure out ways where he possibly wasn't on his hands and knees. That maybe they figured out a way for him. I was like, there is no way you're doing that job without being on your hands and knees.
Yeah, it looks horribly uncomfortable.
That's a tough way to make your money.
I know, but they did. They made their money by all accounts. So like this movie was apparently produced and released in a whirlwind.
I'm sure. It came out 1 year after the first one, didn't it?
Yeah, so like mere months after Godzilla in 1954, the executive producer Iwao Mori, after seeing the financial success of the first film, they wanted to avoid losing momentum, so they just like fast tracked that shit. And the only real fly in the ointment was Ishiro Honda, our director from the first movie. He was busy making another film called Love Tide.
Dang, Love Tide. This kind of sounds like, I don't know if you had this when you were growing up, but when GTA 3 came out, it didn't take long for Grand Theft Auto Vice City to then come out. And that was like one of the best, like honestly within months. And you weren't expecting it. And it was like the biggest upgrade you could ever imagine. And they just made both games look fantastic. But this feels like maybe they haven't. In those 4 months, they may have slightly less investment, perhaps. I don't know, or maybe more.
Yeah, so like this feels almost like Vice City came first, and then we got GTA 3, the base game.
Exactly, somewhat, yeah. But I mean, I still love this movie.
Oh, yeah, me too. I had such a good time with it. Something also worth addressing early on, as we mentioned, the kaiju-sized elephant in the room, is that Godzilla died at the end of the first movie. So they're presented with the problem.
Fundamentally dead. Absolutely. There's a bit of a problem.
Boiled into a fine mist.
Yeah, exactly. They were using his bones to make broth. He was gone.
Definitively gone. So that presented the problem to the writers and the producers, but they did sow the seeds in the first movie. They said there was
absolutely. Yeah. Do you think that was them being real clever, or they were just like, we can use this as a means to make our name?
I doubt it, man. Do you think movies back then were so sequel baity?
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah. I'm also speculating here. Like
maybe they were just like, if we do think about making a second movie, we need to put something in the first one to make it, logical. Or does that even matter? Am I thinking too much into it? That doesn't matter.
This is a really valid thing, because like has the filmmaking industry always been this money grubbing and all consuming for IP?
There is a way of looking at these movies thinking like, yeah, do you know what? These were just big attraction pieces made at the time to get people's attention, and it was all about just selling tickets, right? And yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe so. I mean, and then you just get lucky when a director or writer comes around that actually like infuses a meaning into the project. This is also like a much more optimistic movie in tone than the first one, right?
It is. Like, that was the first thing I thought when I first heard the intro to it. I was like, even the music is a bit more playful. Yeah. And then the very first conversation is basically a young man and a young woman flirting over a radio. Like, it's pretty cheery. It's a pretty cheery beginning. I saw the tone absolutely changed. Like, you did not have that playfulness whatsoever. Like when I said there's love and laughs, like that wasn't in the first movie, really.
Right. That was no exaggeration on your part either. It's just a happy movie. Godzilla happens to be in it, and he happens to destroy some.
Yeah. He's on a tour as
cities. Well. He is on tour. Yeah, he goes to 2 different locations this time around.
Right. I have questions about that as well, but we'll get that when we get to those part in the stories.
For sure. And so, do you think this optimism, does that make sense more from a business or an artistic perspective?
Oh, I think it's purely business, and also to talk about the kind of the 2 lead men in this movie. When we come to them, the way they've been designed, I think, is very much these kind of protagonists are well liked. So we should put these kinds of characters in there. The love as well.
The love story, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a easy story, and it has broad appeal.
Yeah, agreed. And I even have a quote here from the scenario writer who actually worked on both this one and the first film. His name is Shigeru Kayama, and he mentioned that this film, while jettisoning the whole A-bomb allegory, this film taps into a more manga-like appeal, which they were hoping would connect better with younger audience members.
Okay. So does that mean like a specific storybook genre, like of manga? It's like this is what your typical manga story looks like. Maybe
he just means like a more adventurous quality to it.
Okay.
Maybe that like we're just gonna have like it's a more of a Marvel movie than a I don't know serious faced war film.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not Saving Private Ryan or anything.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, should we start talking about the movie then?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So I have some basic information about the movie itself.
Nice.
It is Japanese language. Most of the movies we're going to talk about are. Maybe I should just stop including that in my. It's Japanese language. It was originally titled Gojira no Gyakushu. Gyakushu, I guess, is Raids Again or Returns or something. It stars. Yeah, it is a really fucking cool title.
Like the title itself is pretty playful, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's done it again.
Look, he's back. Godzilla.
Look,
he's back. It stars Hiroshi Koizumi. Again, as always, apologies. Setsuko Wakayama, Minoru Chiaki, a return from Takashi Shimura as Dr. Yamane.
Yeah, we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah. I figured you would be happy to see that. We have Katsumi Tezuka playing Anguirus, the new kaiju on the block.
Oh,
and,
right on. Yep.
Of course, our hero from last week returns as Godzilla, Haruo Nakajima. This was directed by Motoyoshi Oda and written by Takeo Murata, who is also back from the 1954 film, in addition to the scenario writer who I mentioned before. We also have Shigeaki Hidaka, and I think also working as a writer, and special effects back for round 2, Eiji Tsuburaya.
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team. A few members are back. That's cool. It was initially released on April 24th, 1955. This is literally 6 months after the release of 1954's Godzilla.
They worked hard and fast.
Yeah, no kidding. And it has a very breezy runtime of an hour and 21 minutes.
Is that, I was going to say like hour 22, yeah. Let me tell you, that is a great runtime. Oh, if you can get a movie to like fill 80 minutes, well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
For schmucks like us who are doing this to ourselves in a podcast format, it really takes some of the like pressure off.
Just in general, that's like, the movie lasts that long. Like if you can put a good movie in 80 minutes, why do it in 90? Just do it in 80.
Yeah.
Everyone will be grateful.
Spit it out, man. Come on, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's see. So it sold 8.3 million tickets in Japan.
Bam.
And this time the Japanese language original was actually released in the States prior to the American dubbed version.
Look at that
I'll
growth.
speak out. Yeah.
Look at that growth. Wow.
Only 6 months needed to, or a year needed to go by before they were like, yeah, okay, we'll try it out. This was Toho's fourth highest grossing film of 1955.
So now we need to find out what the other three
Yes, we do.
Because how have you beaten this?
Yeah. And let's see, and it was the 10th highest grossing film in Japan in total that year. Okay. So it was a moderate box office success.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a moneymaker. I have absolutely no idea, but to me it sounds like that made money.
Yeah, definitely. And that is also in spite of a pretty tepid critical reception.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a sequel. Yeah. There are some sequels that are obviously cracking.
Godfather 2.
Sure, there you go. Bill and Ted 2. Not the first one's bad.
Bill and Ted 2. Dude, Where's My Car 2.
Back to the Future.
American Pie 2.
Arguably. But you know what? That was a huge franchise that I never watched any of. In fact...
What? American Pie?
Yeah. In fact, I think the only time I saw any American Pie was in an English class when I was in high school, and it must have been like the end of the year, and the teacher just didn't.
What a teacher. That teacher really didn't give a shit.
But, like, trust me, there is nothing worse than watching a movie in school, because you don't get to watch the whole movie, and it just, it's like, everyone's just
going to pique your interest. How's he going to get his dick out of that pie?
Or even, like, are we actually going to make it to that scene, right? Like, that was my question. Do we have enough time to make it to the scene? Anyhow. So many sequels.
What's Mr. Carpenter going to do when that scene rolls around?
That's
fast forward through it.
What's the name? I wish I could remember. It's not quite up there with The Godfather Part
2. No, it's not. I also have some trivia, and as with last time, it's scrubbed from the internet. So this refers to Toho's decision to use director Motoyoshi Oda in Honda's stead. Film historian David Kalat noted that Oda was a director who didn't really sniff at making a B movie. He was totally fine with it. He wrote, "Putting such a man in charge of the Godzilla sequel was a clear signal of intent. This was to be a quickie profit center, not an artistic indulgence."
Could you imagine that? Like, imagine being Mr. Oda and just having that fancy restaurant meet up with the head of Toho, and you're having this beautiful meal, and he's like, "Mr. Oda, I want to offer you to direct Godzilla Part 2. What a magical moment that must have been for Mr. Oda.
And with the knowledge in the back of his head that, you can't possibly think that I'm...
absolutely. No, he knows he's got complete creative control. He knows, yes, I can definitely... I can work with this, Mr. Toho, chairman.
Yeah. You want me to cut some corners? I'll cut some corners.
Oh, and in the most fabulous way, right?
Yeah, exactly. I almost didn't want to include this in trivia because I wanted to talk about it flat out later, but I'll mention it briefly. The reference book that they use in the film's conference room scene it's entitled The Dinosaur Book, and it's written by paleontologist Edwin H. Colbert.
Okay. That's because I have something to talk. I made notes about that scene as well. So that's interesting. Because I saw that book and I was like, they've got it on lockdown. They know all it.
So
they figured it out.
It was so funny to me. I thought they're just. I'll save it for later. But yeah, that scene. Oh man.
And it's fair to say that in the Western perspective, Japanese culture is seen as highly academical. So you're like, they are the cream of the crop. They're the best of the best when it comes to Japanese paleontology, and that book looks pretty legit, right? And even we haven't talked about what the scientist looks like as well.
Okay. Earmarked for later, the dinosaur book scene. Our two kaiju actors were able to move a little more fluidly this time. Their suits were made. Was it hard to notice?
Oh, I felt, sorry, carry on. Because it looked...
Yeah, it did. But the suits were made from lighter materials, so no cups of sweat drained from Nakajima's body this time. They were made from lighter materials. They were cast from plaster molds that better suited the actors' bodies.
Okay.
Godzilla's suit used a cloth base with latex added on top of it, so no more concrete this time. This time around, there was a motor built into his head so that the eyes and the mouth could move independently, and the batteries for that motor were located in the suit's tail, which is pretty cool to think about.
So they're clearly investing in something they're going to use over and over again.
Yeah, and I think that is like a kind of a basic trivia point for these movies, is seeing when suits pop up from one movie into the next.
Yeah.
And you really see some of these suits like get battered into oblivion. Like
they're pretty
in
rough
later
shape.
movies,
Right.
in later movies they're like hiding suits behind
Like the scenery.
parts of the scene, and the scenery, because they're in such a bad condition.
You got one more movie in you, kid.
yeah. Come on, Mothra, you can one more flight around the.
Come on.
Yeah. Let's see, Katsumi Tezuka, who played Anguirus, he had to perform, and I don't even know if it's called Anguirus. I don't know why I'm doing that with my voice.
Yeah.
It could be Anguirus or Anguirus.
Yep, Anguirus.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna pretend to be pretentious and that I'm saying it correctly.
All power to you.
He had to perform on his hands and knees.
Yeah. Poor man.
And speaking of hiding things behind scenery, the bottoms of his feet, his human feet, were exposed. So to hide this, production used strategic camera angles and placed trees and buildings in the foreground to mask.
Could you imagine if you saw that? It would take the magic away somewhat.
Would it though? I think it would be a totally different kind of magic if we were seeing some feet.
True enough.
And a whole subsection of audience would be thrilled.
That's true enough. That's right. There's an intersection of certain demographics which, would enjoy seeing those toes hang.
Right. Let's see. The Japanese Self-Defense Forces tactic of blacking out Osaka to protect it from Godzilla, that was a tactic actually used in World War II to protect Japanese cities. Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh no, that
sounds like you're familiar.
Yeah, that's like a universal thing. Yeah, they had wardens that would go around, and if anyone had a light on, they'd like give them the business. Yeah, that's standard across any kind of country that's been bombed. But no. When I saw them black out, I was instantly reminded of like watching the Blitz stuff from like British history.
During the restaurant scene, we are treated to a Hokkaido sea shanty.
Oh my lord! What a great party! Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. Yeah. It's an Hokkaido sea shanty.
Yes, it is a Hokkaido sea shanty titled Saran Bushi.
That's the best part of trivia so far. What does it say? What the shanty's about? Or does it just say?
No, it doesn't. I'm sure I could have dug deeper, but I was just enchanted by the fact that we were being
absolutely
exposed to one.
The Hokkaido sea shanty.
Yeah, it really sparked. Like, I had no idea. Of course they do, but I had no idea. You know, that there are Japanese sea shanties. We should learn one. And,
should we? And we all
later on, Patreon exclusive. We'll drop some sea shanty. Now, Sam, as we both know, there were hand puppets used in this movie for the monsters as close-ups. And
that's right. My lord, there's a good close-up.
There's some pretty good hand puppet action in this film. And the Godzilla puppet in particular, it had spray built into it to depict his atomic breath.
Yep.
His incandescent light, if we remember from last time.
We all have one.
This was done because the full bodysuit's mouth couldn't open widely enough for the breath this time around. During Godzilla's big battle with Anguirus, the Osaka castle miniature, it would not collapse when the kaiju performers rammed into it. It was supposed to. There was a cue for it falling over. They even added wires to it that were supposed to rip it apart on cue. So they had a bunch of special effects guys sort of yanking these wires to try and pull it apart.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't work either. So special effects director Tsuburaya, he ordered them to cut. The battling kaiju didn't hear him, and then they fell into the castle and it ripped apart without the camera. Yeah, so that might explain why we get this sort of weird close-up on the castle, and we see the old school visual, it's like pre-CGI of like kind of rips in the castle. It sort of looked like paper being ripped up that they just superimposed on top of it.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't notice that, really. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yes,
it's a weird effect. I was wondering what it was while I was watching the movie, and then
there are some pretty bad effects on here. When they go to Hokkaido and they try to represent snowing, and it's like, ooh, that looks bad.
Yeah, and on the topic of that, they borrowed an ice machine from the Tokyo skating rink to bury Godzilla in ice during the film's climax.
That's where it comes from. Okay, that's interesting.
And Western film critics have shown a bit more appreciation of this film over the years than when it had initially been released.
Sure.
They praised its battle scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, for the time, I was pretty invested in that fight.
Yeah, I was 100% invested, but it's raw, that's for sure.
Yeah, they praised the battle scenes. They even attempted to parallel this film with the Nagasaki bombings, which kind of a bit of a stretch, but there is a shot of Hidemi, one of our main characters,
she's the
female love interest. She's staring out at the burning Osaka coast.
Yeah.
It looks like exactly like a mushroom cloud. So
yeah, I noticed that, and I was like, I found that quite odd. So it definitely stood out to me. It looks specifically like something, and I'm not sure why, because there isn't any real connection in the actual moment in the scene. There was no reason for that to be there, really.
Right. Thematically, we do not have the same level of allegory at play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe a bit of a stretch on Western critics' part there. Interestingly, Ishiro Honda had some thoughts on this film. So again, that's the director of the first Godzilla. He said that the reviews for Godzilla Raids Again were more positive compared to his film. I'm assuming he means the Japanese reviewers here. He stated that his film was considered stupid by the media for a director to add, in quotes, ideas or themes into a science fiction film. He went on to say, that's why I think the first Godzilla was only considered a weird movie, and that's probably why they liked the second much better. That it was more of just fun.
So the first Godzilla doesn't really get credit it now has.
Right.
It's maybe seen as touching.
Japanese critics at the time probably.
It's like you're not working in your wheelhouse. You've stepped out of the box too far, and you need to go back into your sci-fi tropes. That's interesting because the way we were talking about it and the way it's talked about now is like, brilliant movie.
There's so much reverence now.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting to see it kind of got shot back on.
And one last piece of trivia here. There is an American English dubbed and re-edited version brought to us or distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, but as a result of the same creative team, and I think the same or similar deal as struck with the Godzilla 1954 original being adapted into Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Which we had, what's his name? Raymond Burr? Was it Raymond Burr?
Burr, yes.
We don't have Raymond Burr this time, I assume.
No Raymond Burr this time, but arguably a more interesting name is attached. This movie was called Gigantus the Fire Monster. It was distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, and as I mentioned, it was the same producers responsible for the original American remake, and this one featured the voice talents of Paul Frees and a young George Takei.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was released.
Go back to, what is its name in America? Gigantus the Fire Breather.
Gigantus the Fire Monster.
So where have they got the Fire Monster from?
I really don't know.
Gigantus, fair enough. If you want to rebrand him, you can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fire Monster seems a bit.
And for any audience members savvy enough to remember back a few years, because this was released in 1959.
You'll know exactly who that is. You'll be like, that's not Gigantus.
Yeah, you're looking up, wait a second.
We know this guy.
Yeah, that's Godzilla King of the Monsters, last I checked.
Yeah.
But this was released in 1959. It played as a... Oh, yeah. I thought you'd like this. It played as a double feature with Teenagers from Outer Space.
Absolutely. You're staying for that marathon.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to watch that.
Honey, I've got tickets to the theater.
Yeah.
I honestly, a recipe for success film-wise might just be to add from outer space to
Yeah. Oh,
the
for
end
sure. Yeah,
of
that's
your
right.
title.
Yeah, I mean, the Leprechaun did it, right?
Yeah.
But
Leprechaun, Jason went to space.
they visited.
All the good actions. Well, I mean, slight spoiler, but Godzilla is definitely going to space.
Oh, yeah. No
You bet
surprise.
you bet your pretty little bottom Godzilla's going to space. Yeah. So, one thing I did see, and this isn't in my notes, but one thing that I did see about Gigantus, that remake, they added a bunch of other kaiju that are not even in this original movie. So
Okay.
I'm a little curious about those. I think they're mostly just dinosaurs.
Sure.
Maybe in suits or maybe stop motion. I'm not sure. All right, so that wraps my trivia section. I think it's time to really discuss Godzilla Raids Again. So, Sam,
Yep.
can you give me an elevator pitch?
Yeah, so this is a movie that is very much in the vein of Mask 2, Son of Mask, and the eternal classic Flintstones 2, Viva Rock Vegas, in that this movie has lost an awful lot of its kind of thematic depth, but it's bringing on a lot of kind of chaos. We're getting laughter for the first time, we're getting love for the first time, we get more dinosaurs, and we get more destruction. It's a complete U-turn from what we've experienced from the first one.
Ding, ground floor. So my first thought as I was booting this up and I see the Metropolitan film card, which I thought was TriStar at first because it was a Pegasus.
Oh, yeah.
So I see that and I think, oh no, it's a 4:3 ratio. It's that like boxy,
Sure, I'm with you. Yeah.
like old school film. And I can't even remember. 54 wasn't that, was it?
No, they had
no.
they had quality cameras back then. Yeah.
I thought 54 was widescreen, but maybe I'm misremembering. But
No, I think it was,
either
yeah.
way. Oh, okay. I felt a little better when I heard Godzilla's roar, but I was like, it's gonna be, it's boxy. But maybe I'm just tripping out a little bit. So the hour and 21-minute runtime, like that's a pretty easy viewing experience.
Yeah.
This movie felt so breezy to me.
That's the thing. I think that's the really reassuring thing about an 80-minute movie is it's going to move fast and keep your attention. It's just how well it does it, and this movie does it well.
Yeah, and it doesn't get complacent either. Like even with that short runtime, like we're also jumping locations pretty often.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and we get enough of variety of different scenes, and they know when to move on. They know when to hang about. Yeah, it's not hard to watch.
And there was. I think this was a green screen shot. Early on, there's a really cool scene or shot of the plane being piloted by one of our two main characters. It's against a blue-green, I think it's a blue or green screen backdrop, but it looked pretty dang cool. I was wondering how they did it. Like, it's not a puppet on a string. It looks
not a toy?
It looks
I
sort
thought
of
they
like,
were toys.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was a really close-up of a shot of a toy, or maybe
Yeah.
a large toy, like a larger miniature, a bigature, if you will.
I know what you mean, because the movie starts with him kind of communicating from his plane to the base, and then it would clip to like external moments of the plane itself with this kind of background.
To sort of describe what I'm talking about here to anyone who has not seen the movie, it's like it's not quite a green screen shot that you might see of like people driving in a car where the camera is like right up there and you don't see you see the whole plane there
the whole plane
against this backdrop
screen. No, I must admit, I thought it was a toy for sure, and I thought, well, this is just gonna like foreshadow a lot of toys because the movie has a lot of toys in it, which is
it does,
or models. But no, I must admit, I thought that was a model.
It was cool. Did you have subtitles going for the Morse code?
Oh, no, I didn't. That was when they're typing out the emote. Is that that's the at the intro. Yeah. No,
right.
I didn't. I don't know what it is. I was curious to what the message was for.
I was too. So like our movie opens with our main character. He's a pilot. His name is Keiichi, and he is asking the radio dispatch girl Hidemi. Yep, out on a date. And I was like, all right, who is this smooth operator?
Well, and even then, it's like she's even very playful. She's like, "Oh, don't you have one more question to ask?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty kind of even. Confident young lady, but she has reason to be confident, right? Because she is the daughter of the factory owner.
Yes, and I had a note here. Well, I think it's later on, but could go ahead and say it. Do you know what kind of factory this is? I think I went through the whole movie not exactly knowing
So is
what
if
it was.
if I had to guess, it
Is it
is
oil?
You would think that from the scene later on, right? But then
Yeah.
part of me assumed they were fishing, and that it was perhaps connected to fishing. Because I mean, the places we're going to, Osaka,
Yeah.
Hokkaido, right? Major kind of fishing ports. I mean, major ports in themselves. Why else did I think it was fishing? Oh, because I think that
Something you would need spotter planes for.
yeah, and I think that very first kind of conversation where he's kind of giving his coordinates and talking to the radio operator Hidemi, he does either he or she mentions like, "Oh, you're just crossing over the fishing lanes for the last time."
Oh, okay.
But again, like there's a moment in the movie where you would think it was an oil refinery or something.
Yes,
But then why airplanes? So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put this out there now. Like, it's wild to me that you would go the entire movie without being explicitly, without knowing.
Like, what is your job? Yeah, what is the stakes
Yeah.
here? Because like that's really
so
important.
central to the movie.
Because we can get like to the end of the movie, not yet, obviously, but something's going to happen to a character, and you're going to think, why are they risking their life? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I don't know.
That's it. Yeah,
Why?
you're right.
Maybe it got cut out.
I couldn't give you a definitive answer if I had to.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're both on the same page then, because I just felt like an idiot that I had missed some crucial piece of information. But we also are introduced early on in the movie to Kobayashi.
Heck yeah, Kobayashi.
He is another pilot, and his engine fails mid-flight early on in the movie. He does not seem all too startled at the prospect of crash landing into the ocean.
No, he doesn't. It's interesting because I have a cousin, and that's happened to him, and he was obviously a bit scared. But it's actually you'd be able to actually glide around for a long time. But you're right. He's kind of saying, "Mayday, mayday! My engine's stalled." Everyone's getting very upset, but you wouldn't know from his appearance.
Yeah, his appearance and his tone, like he's pretty blasé about this. Mayday.
So I think that like we should talk about Kobayashi because he is I don't know if he's meant to be, but he is the heart of this movie. You definitely kind of enjoy his company more than anyone else's on screen. But
he's a jokester.
But that's the thing. He feels like the kind of 50s Hollywood trope of you have your lead actor who's the kind of
handsome man,
great singing, great dancing, and then you have his kind of lovable, affable,
schlubby friend.
Yeah, schlubby friend, because he is kind of presented as the comic relief or the comic foil. He's either making the joke or the joke is on him, right? But he's also more grounded, right? He's a man of the people as well.
He's more well-liked by pretty much anyone, and a lot of the ladies are kind of ribbing him throughout the movie, the dispatch ladies. Yeah, I mean, the movie brightens up when he's on screen.
Absolutely.
And he also leads to several fade to black between scenes where I don't even know if this qualifies as a joke per se, but he says some joke and then everyone laughs and then the screen fades to black. Like the ending of a sitcom.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
I think I know exactly. I think that's when they just are told to like fly to Hokkaido or something, and he gets called bridegroom.
Yeah.
You would want to be Kobayashi's friend.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
He just seems like a fun, agreeable guy.
And he's the warm part of this movie.
There are some moments before Kobayashi sees an amazing googly head puppet with Godzilla.
But that's the thing, like you're introduced to Godzilla straight away. They know exactly what you want. You've come for this movie for a very specific reason, and we're going to give it to you straight away.
The initially, come out.
And he's kind of hidden to begin with, but you soon realize that he's doing something we haven't seen before, which he's definitely having a scrap. So again, straight away, you know that there's more than one of them in this movie pretty early on. So it's all kind of set up for you. But yeah, he's looking fairly similar. the last time, which is not to say well. Like, he looks stressed out.
Let's yes. Let's be very clear here that this is basically the hand puppet from the first movie that you see pop up over the hillside.
Yeah, and you see his head close up in Tokyo, I think, as well. It's a very jarring toy puppet. Really hard to look at it and fathom its creation. Like, you want to laugh, but then you're also kind of just in awe of it. It's
well-used dog's chew toy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of conflicting feelings when you see them appear.
Oh yeah, and this Godzilla, the second Godzilla, it's going at it with Anguirus right from the first appearance. They're fighting over just a little pile of rocks island, I guess.
Absolutely, and we get to hear the new noise. Anguirus makes his own noise, or their own noise, and it's shriller, I think, than Godzilla, perhaps. But I was a bit confused as to what that noise was until I saw the other dinosaur.
Oh yeah, you just thought it's just like
what happened to Godzilla?
Some weird
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And at the end of this fight, we just see both of their bodies sort of flop uselessly into the water.
Oh, it looks so uncomfortable. This poor man. Like, I know I've already said this, but it just looks like guaranteed backache. Like, you're not waking up the next day looking forward to doing that again. Like, your body must be furious with you.
Yeah.
It's so cumbersome. These costumes, I'm sure they were far lighter than the original ones, but they still seem very unguided. Your poor man is on his hands and knees while Godzilla's on his legs standing up. And they somehow have to come to an agreement how to do this fight safely, but also to a certain standard.
Had you seen Anguirus before? Do you know of this monster?
No. So, like, if you were to ask me to name some of the other kaiju, just from popular culture references, not from actually watching the movies, I know Mothra, Mechagodzilla. I feel like I can picture another one, but I can't name them. So no, I'm certainly not Anguirus. Even now, I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, same. But he was always one of my favorites. I think he just looks cool, like, standing there. Mm-hmm. I think what separates the old Toho monsters and makes them seem so much more legendary than anytime an American remake tries to introduce a new kaiju, I'm always disappointed because these older ones, there's just something so elemental about them. Maybe it's because they're drawing from, like, actual biological beasts from the past.
It's not made by committee, right?
Exactly, splicing together some weird anomaly like the Muto from the Godzilla 2012 movie. Yeah, these old monsters, they just look so great.
Yeah, a big fan of Anguirus. Like, perhaps when we get later on in a different segment, I will tell you what I love about him, for sure.
Okay, so my next note is about the committee room.
So the first thing there is, before they take you into the committee room, you get this kind of picture of Osaka Castle. And
foreshadowing. I didn't...
but also, I think also what they're saying is like, hey, look, we're not in Tokyo. And the audience at the time would have known that because they would have recognized the castle, right? But nothing's been said about the fact we're not in Tokyo. And Tokyo has a bay. Like, you could very easily have planes flying over water in Tokyo. But yeah, when you see that castle, you're like, okay, so there's a lot that's changed. There's a lot that changes about this movie. And I would argue the only thing that stays the same through this movie is who we're about to meet in this committee room. Yes. So even the locations change.
Yeah, and we, as you mentioned, the tether to the first movie in this scene, Dr. Yamane, he's back.
Yeah. He's back, which is really cool. Like, super delighted to see him, for sure. But having watched the movie kind of twice in, the space of a couple of weeks, he might be the only thing that is true to the first movie, in many ways. But yeah, really happy to see him. Maybe I'm really biased, but is he way better at acting than everyone else?
He might.
I don't think he is, but I think I'm just like, he's fine.
I think you're just partial to the man, which is completely understandable. Yeah.
Because Kobayashi's a great actor.
Yeah. He's in from Tokyo, and he's effectively worthless. They cart this poor fellow and tell him
isn't he?
that He says that we have no countermeasures.
Yeah.
And he's sort of a delivery mechanism to show clips from the first movie.
Okay, so can we talk about that?
Yep.
There's a lot to talk about, because they do have some ideas about light bombs. So the first thing I want to say is the scientist that is running this committee meeting, and for some reason, Kobayashi and Kichi, is it?
Kaichi? Something.
Yeah. For some reason, they're at this meeting. They have no...
I know, right?
I mean, to be fair, they saw the monsters.
They're there as witnesses.
As witnesses, I suppose, but they do seem a bit out of place. But the fellow that's running this is a scientist, and you know he's a scientist because they've glued a beard on his face, and they've glued a wig on his head, and then they've completely covered it in talcum powder, and they've covered his face in talcum powder, so he looks like an older academic kind of white-haired scientist. But it comes across as a man in a talc wig. But so they show clips of Godzilla's attack on Tokyo
in absolute silence.
Thank you. So there are two things I want to say. First one was about the silence. The clip that they show of Godzilla taking on Tokyo is fairly long.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels fairly long because it's just utter silence. So there's no sound from the footage we're seeing, and there's no sound of the gentleman watching it, like coughing or...
Right. It's dead silent.
Making shocked noises as they see Tokyo being destroyed by this monster. And I was thinking, like, if you were at the movie theater watching that, would you think the speakers broke? Because it goes on for, like, an odd amount of time. You think,
maybe so. By today's standards, I thought it was artistic. It was hauntingly effective, but I don't know. I don't know that they intended it to be.
Sure.
I think it was one of probably two very artistic moments, possibly unintentionally, in this movie.
My second thought was they are showing footage from the first movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So canonically, therefore, within the Godzilla franchise, does Godzilla 1 exist? Or is this like some sick cameraman doing some on the ground footage? You know, it's like, well, we get to see that because we're the audience. Right? But now they're saying, oh no, we had a cameraman filming Godzilla the whole time. It's true to the movie, right?
Like it's super close to all the action. I get what you mean.
And that's what I'm hoping within the Godzilla franchise that the Godzilla movies are canonical in themselves.
Sure. There's one just like really badass dude that...
Yeah, precisely.
I'm going to get this footage.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe, like, Tokyo got destroyed, but you wouldn't believe the footage we got of it.
Nobel Prize winning photographer, or cinematographer.
So those are my two thoughts. So what makes it so artistic for you then?
Well, it's the tone shift. Like, the rest of the movie is, as we said, so optimistic. It's lighter. There are moments of humor and levity.
Absolutely.
And then in the middle of all that, when the monsters have been discovered, we have this sort of tribute to that first movie. And in the 1 to 2 minutes of this movie are sort of reminding us and dredging up any feelings we might have as audience members who saw the first one and were affected by that story and by that allegory. We're then being reminded of the heaviness of the first movie.
I can see how that would be supported by the silence as well, because it's like, oh no, we're only going to focus on this. Like,
right. It's almost a reverential silence, but I don't think that was intended.
No, fair enough. Okay. The other thing to point out in this scene, and we talked about it earlier, is the dinosaur book. The Book of Dinosaurs.
Yes! Thank you.
So, the thing that stood out to me again was it's kind of in connection to the book. I believe before he opens the book, he says, we know about this dinosaur because of a Polish paleontologist called Dr. Patel, I want to say. And I was instantly reminded that in the first movie, they refer to a German scientist that they spoke to about the oxygen destroyer. And I was like, so they love talking to these Central European scientists to get all their information.
Yeah, they're really outsourcing the knowledge there.
And it kind of reminded me of how Murakami all of his characters are always referencing European stuff because that's the high watermark of like certain
musicians.
Philosophers or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, they love it. They love to reference Central Europe or wherever to kind of give something a form of legitimacy or something like that.
Yeah,
and I
no,
checked
that's a
into
good
it.
point.
I looked into the name to find if he was a real paleontologist, and then nothing came up on Google. So I'm not.
No.
So I was uncertain.
Well, I can say that dinosaur book was written by a paleontologist, and God, I just thought this looks like a children's book about
Yeah,
dinosaurs.
that's what
that
it looked
they are
like.
Like
Of
an
a certain,
illustrated.
the ones that you
children's
would
book.
see at your grandparents' house.
Yep.
Yeah, and like
they're carting this out at a disaster response meeting.
yeah, I don't know if you would have had these in America, but in England we had this series of children's book called Ladybird books, and a ladybird is what you would call a ladybug.
Oh, okay.
But they had a very specific artistic style which matched that dinosaur book, but they were always kind of children-based kind of focus, but yeah, a very dated, old-fashioned kind of illustration style to it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I laughed out loud. It was so funny
Yeah.
to see these scientists carting this book,
Yeah,
or like
we've
just
got it
passing this book
covered.
around the.
And it goes so well with the scientist with the talcum powder on his face and like glued on beard. Like you're a dusty old scientist. That's what dusty old scientists look like. And Dr. Yamane is sitting there like, I'm just a professional. Like I just look like this. You instantly believe I'm a scientist. I don't need any gimmicks. You know I'm a scientist.
So they use this book to identify Anguirus as being an ankylosaur, I guess. In this, I think what comes out of this meeting basically is their first strategy against Godzilla, which is to drop a light bomb in Godzilla's path to lure it away.
Yeah, but they kind of mean flares. That's what they look like to me. They just seem like flares that you would drop.
Same.
From
I was sort of wondering what a light bomb is without taking the time to look it up. And I mean, when we actually see it in action, it's essentially the look at the pretty light strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is. And that goes back to when you mentioned how they turn off all the lights in Osaka.
Right.
Like a nighttime raid kind of thing.
Right.
That's right.
Kind of jangle your keys on the other side of the bay, and he'll turn around.
As great as a plan as that is, there is a very slapsticky, but also tragically horrific chink in their armor, which is these escapee prisoners who are going to be the fly in the ointment. It's working. The lights are working. They've turned the lights off of Osaka, and they've used these light bombs, and Godzilla's turned around, and they're preparing to return people back from evacuation. And then we get this prisoner slapsticky moment.
It's so slapsticky. It's like this little romp in the middle of the movie. It belongs in another movie, honestly. These three prisoners in the back of they're being transported to a different prison. There's two cops driving, or two guards driving. Two guards are in the back of the truck with the prisoners.
Yep. And they have this kind of elaborate ruse that they've concocted to disarm the guards and shoot the lock open and escape the van. And then there's a bit of a shootout where a lot of them fall over in very slapsticky fashion. And
they've commandeered the truck, and then they go in.
Well, this is great, isn't it? They in themselves also, they seem like the Three Stooges, but Japanese style. Like they all have a very kind of villainy, low rent criminal appearance to them. But and then we get I think the most egregious use of, and I mean that in the most positive way, use of like models, toy cars and dioramas and cities when the truck kind of goes off the rails and flips and bursts open into, you imagine it's like an oil refinery kind of.
Yeah, which I assumed was attached to Hidemi's father's factory.
Because he does say later on when he's kind of assessing the scene that that's where my factory used to be.
Right.
But the outcome of this truck crash is Osaka goes on fire with a huge explosion.
And that leads us to a few different things. So Godzilla turns around. Now he recognizes that Osaka is a target and starts heading on over.
And just as he makes it, you get the artillery barrage, you get the tank barrage, very similar to the first movie.
There's a plane like nosediving into the water after Godzilla hits it with his atomic breath.
That's right. Yeah, we do see one victim go down. But you see these very toy planes on string moving in perfect synchronization, shooting off their rockets towards
Right.
Godzilla.
And we also see there's an Osaka like nightclub on the human side of things. There's
That's
a
right.
nightclub.
It's such a genteel place. They're all dancing, these loved up couples, aren't they, in their suits and
Yeah.
dresses. Very pure.
Right. There's like a little orchestra playing them around, and it would be considered overindulgent by today's standards for like how long that scene plays out and how much of the music we get. But moments like that scene are, to me, some of the most fascinating parts of watching old movies.
Sure.
It's kind of that little window to the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt the same, and it reminds me of when I think I spoke to you about this a while back. I watched My Dinner with Andre, and just how fancy restaurants used to be kind of presented back in, it wasn't that too long ago, the 80s. Early 90s, men in tuxedos, old men in tuxedos would be your waiter, not young people. Your food came out on a silver dish, silver platter. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of see what life was like back in the day for young people.
For sure. And then they get the heads up that Godzilla is coming, and they all split. Godzilla, on his way into Osaka, I think you were alluding to this, gets an unwelcome visitor.
Yeah, and we get to hear that kind of shrill, I don't know how to describe it. It's Godzilla's own roar is pretty darn shrill, but this one feels it's shorter and snappier. It's a bit more higher pitched. But yep, Anguirus. So I don't know how far we're into the movie, maybe 20 minutes tops, and we're getting the big dinosaur fight.
Yeah, and Anguirus comes out, and we learned in the conference room from our dinosaur book that in the past, I guess in the Jurassic period, these two monsters are sworn adversaries.
That's right. Yeah, they have back history,
and that's why Anguirus is following Godzilla around.
Yeah. And also, I guess we didn't talk about it, but in the committee meeting as well, I think that's when it's kind of revealed that this is not Godzilla from the first movie. This is a brand new, identical Godzilla. In the same way that you watch the Jaws movie, it's not the same shark, but it is the same shark.
Right, and whoopsie daisy, we used our oxygen destroyer and destroyed the plans for it.
Right, precise. So there's no going back to that plan.
So we have no strategy this time around.
Yeah. What a meaningful sacrifice, but yet pointless, right?
They have a big old slam-filled wrestling match in Osaka.
So that's what it's like, and I must admit, I was thinking, you know what, wrestling is a bit kind of goofy, but the men know what they're doing. They are coordinated, they have a plan of action, and know how to do it. And this felt like, all right, just freestyle it, just go out there in your costumes and do the best you can, men. And I think that's what they did. It is sloppy work, but compelling, highly compelling.
Oh yeah, it's super fun just to see these two things like slam into each other. Yeah, Godzilla can turn his neck in this one, which was cool.
Talking about moving necks, like I'm pretty sure this is the hand puppet, but and I'm going to talk about this later when I kind of big up Anguirus in a different segment. But when Godzilla chooses to shoot his atomic breath at Anguirus, he does the most adorable head swivel close up. It kind of reminds me of like, what a dog might do if you were to spray it in the face with a kind of water bottle. And I was just like, that's pretty adorable.
Yeah, man.
I don't know how to describe this head swivel it does, but it's very cute.
It's very cute. These, like the whole fight is a mix of people in suits, and some of those shots seem to be like sped up for some reason.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. They speed up the fight dramatically because I imagine when they were filming it, it was just so ponderous to move in those costumes and
that's probably it.
Swing your body. But yeah, it is jarringly fast compared to all of the previous scenes.
It makes for a weird bit of dissonance. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's the effect the filmmakers intended. But regardless, it's sped up images, and it is enjoyable. Images of people in suits and those herky-jerky hand puppets. And it's like the puppets are just shaking wildly in front of them. They're like Muppets almost.
You do, and then it kind of, I'm not sure it ends with this, but you get to see Godzilla kind of chomp down on Anguirus. It seems like that's the only way to defeat him is because he's pushing He's brushing off the atomic breath to begin with. So he goes for the
Right.
jugular.
Yeah, he goes for the jugular. He just rips Angus's neck.
I think you do actually see, although it's dark, you do see some kind of juices flowing.
And with those hand puppets too, the Godzilla puppet especially, it kind of looks like in one of the shots. It kind of looks like you can see the paint drying on his eyeball. It's
Yeah, the eyes are so bad.
Yeah. I also noted that it seems like, and we'll talk about this in our Kaiju Corner segment, but it seemed to me like Godzilla is bigger in this one, even though the stats that I have are essentially almost the same, because his tail, earlier when he's coming out of the bay, his tail just like crushes a lighthouse.
That's nothing. Right. That's the first thing that happens. Yep.
So in that shot, at least, he looks huge.
That makes sense if you're using proportions. Then that certainly.
Yeah, but they're not that big when they're up against Osaka castles.
No.
Regardless, Godzilla crushes Anguirus, and amazingly, throughout the fun of this wrestling match, we cut to the side twice. Once to Hidemi, who has been safely stowed away in
like a nice country village.
And she looks out the window, and we see a POV shot from her perspective of Osaka burning in the distance, like the mushroom cloud. It's like this blaze on the coastline. Yeah. The shot itself is really beautiful. I don't know if it belongs in this movie.
Yeah,
tonally.
It definitely stood out to me. And some things stand out because you like them or they're just creative. And it doesn't fit. It does seem to jar with the flow of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then to further underline how much it jars with the rest of the movie, we also cut to the prisoners. Or at least, three of the prisoners.
Oh, is this when they run into the subway
station? One of them
station?
with a bald cap on. Yeah, they have survived their
which is bizarre.
Crash, this inferno.
A huge explosion and inferno.
And they've made it to the subway.
In one piece, all three of them.
Then they get swept away by a flood.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like, they have had, that's, hands down, that's going to be one of the worst days of anyone's life.
Yeah.
Being in the prison guard thing, running from your life from being shot at, you're then in a huge explosion, inferno, and then you drown in a flood in a subway station. That's a tough day.
It's a tough day. And after that, we return one last time to Godzilla just mangling Anguirus' neck after ramming him through Osaka Castle.
Yeah,
I mean, what a brute, dude. Yowza.
Yeah, it is actually surprisingly, violent, I suppose. It's not, graphic, but it's definitely violent. It's animalistic kind of death and murder, for sure.
Yeah, and that's Anguirus out of the movie, which...
Yeah, he came, he saw, he died.
And, I mean, kind of spoilers for the rest of the franchise, but he'll be back.
Oh, okay.
So...
Good. Anguirus raids again.
Anguirus. He will raid again, don't you worry. I was very interested to see that this was Anguirus' origin, because in later films, they are friends. They're very much on the same
there's like a Justice
kaiju
League,
team.
but for kaijus.
Yeah. So, curtains on Anguirus. Poor Hidemi, though. She, as one of the leads to the movie, the romantic interest, she spends a good portion, half of the fucking movie, she's just sitting in a bedroom, waiting. But then we see some shots of the Osaka ruins. Those were pretty cool.
That's right.
Devastation everywhere. I mean, not that ruins are cool, but,
And the factory owners kind of explaining that's where my factory used to be. So we know the factory's gone. Although
Hidemi's dad's factory got destroyed. The factory workers themselves are the ones being forced to clean up.
Yeah, you see it, and as soon as the factory owners walk in, everyone kind of bows and deeply respectful. And I must admit, the first time I see it, is like, why are you cleaning that stuff up? Because they're just going to demolish the place. But they're cleaning it up, and then I guess
it's mostly there is mostly just women in handkerchiefs.
Yeah, that's right.
With seemingly no caution or worry about radiation.
Yeah, that's right. Or even just dust, right? Particles, and that leads to the pivot point of the movie, which is we are now going to Hokkaido, and I was so pissed off because the factory owner's like, "Don't worry, you'll have jobs. You'll come with me," and I'm like. So you're just casually just telling them you have to move to Hokkaido now. Because if you know Japanese geography, that's,
it's a ways away.
You're completely uprooting your life and your family if you're taking them with you.
But no need to dwell on that because Kobayashi is going to take us to a fade out with one of his classic jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, something about being a bridegroom. I think that's his
Yeah.
nickname. And
Someone says Kobayashi, you'll find that women are different than fish.
yes, that's right.
And then everybody laughs and they fade to black. I
Yeah.
loved it.
But it shows that sometimes he is the foil, right? Sometimes we laugh at Kobayashi.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's a bit mean.
So there's a time skip to Hokkaido in
Yep.
the winter time. The factory has relocated.
Yep. Hokkaido's like famous for its winters. Like it's far more north, so it makes sense to have Hokkaido in winter.
There's this is it an engagement party? There's a party of some kind.
Yeah, oh no. So what it is
or is it just a business meeting?
No, they've spent like 9 days scouting out locations.
Oh, okay.
And then the owner's like, we've been doing this for 9 days. Tell the staff, book a restaurant, let's have a party. It feels like just the boss recognizing how hard he's working the team, so let's go for drinks.
Team outing.
Which is pretty kind of East Asian
culture,
practice, yeah. But I think at the time, that's the purpose. But then when you get to the event, one of the guests is the bridegroom, what's his name?
Keiichi, yeah.
Keiichi, his old boss. And his old boss says, oh, I heard someone was getting married, so I thought I'd come over. So clearly they know it is a celebration also for this
okay,
couple.
That's where my confusion was. Yes, I thought it was Keiichi and Hidemi's engagement party. But okay. So it's kind of combination work outing /
Certainly that's how it's been presented in the movie. They clearly didn't just pick a theme, right?
Okay, yeah. This was another scene that just felt like it was from another film altogether.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks so much fun. Like, if you ever wanted to be at a party, you wanted to be at that party singing those Japanese sea shanties.
Oh, God, I know exactly. But it's also at this time where they get the word that Godzilla is back.
So he's been spotted. This was where I felt terrible, because the way the movie is presented, you know they've been at this party for some time. You don't get that kind of sloppy quickly. So Kobayashi's definitely been drinking. You see him drinking with the factory owner. I believe Keiichi, he kind of gets called out by his friends quite in a very sexist way. It's like, oh, you drink like a woman, basically. Right. But then imagine drinking all of that stuff, especially if you're Kobayashi, and then, oh, Godzilla's showing up, so I need to go fly a bloody plane. And I've had so much... And I believe they're drinking sake, rice wine or whatever. Yep. So like they're in no fit shape to do that, but off they go.
Deep in their cups.
Movies. Nightmare.
It was at this moment though that I thought, okay, if you strip away everything, is this just Godzilla versus the fishing industry or Godzilla versus the oil industry? Because like Godzilla's dogging these people. Like
so that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about.
You're taking your factory to Hokkaido, huh? All right.
Yeah. so part of me was like, so I can believe one of two things here. And both of them, well, one of them is more wild than the other. One, you expect me to believe that he has swam from Osaka to Hokkaido.
Yeah.
That's a long journey.
Yep.
That's a really long journey. So he must be so tired. Or perhaps there's another Godzilla. That just happens to be
a third. Ooh, that's an interesting proposition.
But it's clearly not that one. Yeah. It clearly is the same one. It's like Jaws, the shark that follows you. But I'm like, fellas, that's a long swim he's been on.
Yeah. Godzilla has a grudge to take out.
Yeah, right? I was like, jeez Louise.
So Keiichi actually flies out first, right? And there's this really kind of sweet, touching scene where he flies away and Hidemi takes to the radio and she's like, don't you dare, like,
you need to come
go
back.
and get yourself killed. Yeah.
Don't take any risks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he essentially like turns the radio off. He's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna figure this out. Right. And
the noble sacrifice.
Yeah. And Kobayashi wanders in and very sweetly distracts Hidemi by asking like what kind of wedding gifts she would like, while she's worried that her husband to be is going to die out there.
So I think this reflects like the duality of Kobayashi, because not only is he presented as this comic foil and comic relief, but he knows how to talk to women.
Yes.
But the other person, whatever his name is, he can't.
Keiichi,
he can't have this banter, this kind of back and forth with Hidemi. It's much more that puritanical kind of love. Kobayashi is a man of the people. He knows how to. Well, he understands situations.
He really does, and I thought it was very, very touching. And it was also at this time that I thought, if this is a modern movie, then this scene signifies that Kobayashi is definitely going to die.
Yeah,
by the
oh,
end of the film.
100%. Yeah, they're setting him up as this. How would you describe him? Oath with a heart.
They're making him noble
Yeah.
for a sacrifice.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right.
They're fattening the noble pig up.
Yep, and we're also told that he has something to lose because she rifles through his little black book of names, because we're led to believe that Kobayashi is a bit of a player, but clearly he has he's got a special someone. He has a photo of a young lady in his thing, and so we know he has something to lose, right?
Yes, exactly.
Someone's gonna miss him.
And we get some shots from Keiichi's plane. He's tracked Godzilla. He's found him
on the island, right?
in
Shinko.
this sort of...
He is statuesque. It is so surreal when you see Godzilla standing there with no motion.
I know, and apparently this is because the model or the suit they had or something, it like broke.
Okay.
So due to filming constraints, they were forced to use just a statue.
Okay. It's bizarre. It seems so unnatural. Because if you're assuming that Godzilla's just taking a rest on the island, you think he would lie down in the I don't know how he would rest. It's a difficult body to move. But he's just standing there like a statue with his arms sticking out. Just looking at nothing. Looking absolutely at nothing. Yeah. It's very purposeless. And it's very weird to see.
It's so bizarre. At this point, I also thought, why are they fucking with Godzilla? Like, he's just kind of chilling there, right? Like, he's not attacking anything. He's far away from civilization.
Well, he is attacking things because when they're at that party, right? They're like, oh, we lost contact with a ship. So he's fucking around a little bit. I know what you mean. At that point in time, he's clearly going for a rest.
Yeah. So
the swim into Hokkaido is absolutely knackering.
They want to track him down and start bombing him.
Absolutely. Yeah,
it's a revenge mission at this point.
And the original mission was, I think they're just trying to bomb a certain part of the island to kind of cut off or to trap Godzilla inside of it. Not give him an avenue to get off the island. It's called Shinko Island, I think. I think that's the original plan. I think they have a conversation with some local military.
And they then hatch their final plan to bury Godzilla in the ice.
Well, yeah, because there's a really important moment that allows them to figure out that strategy, though. So they...
Oh, yeah.
Right. They originally tried by just blowing up a certain section of the island, and you do get to see these lovely landing craft models, toy models, go onto a toy island, and then we get the soldiers. I guess they're moving oil barrels or explosive barrels.
Right. That's right.
But it doesn't pay off, right? I can't remember what happened. I think perhaps they lose some of the actual bombers as well.
Maybe so. Maybe Godzilla, he starts blasting. He starts using his atomic
and he's swinging. Like, he can pluck them out of the sky. He's swinging. But then the failure of that mission leads Kobayashi, who, for Lord knows what reason, is there.
He's gone to, I guess, try and bring Keiichi back.
Yeah, that's right. That would make sense. He's trying to get Keiichi back. But no, I think at that point, Keiichi's home dry, and the
Kobayashi's just decided to go with this. Final mission.
But I think Keiichi's come out on a different flight, I think, or a different plane.
Yeah, he's definitely in a different plane. But as our noble Kobayashi is flying near Godzilla, he takes an atomic blast to the face, and he goes flying straight into a mountainside.
Right. And it's that impact of Kobayashi into the mountainside and his death.
That is what...
That allows them to figure out that, the avalanche of ice that follows it, we can use that to trap Godzilla. But what is Kobayashi hoping to achieve? That's where I'm just lost. I'm like, don't get me wrong, Independence Day absolutely pays off. Like, it absolutely pays off. And he's completely justified in his suicidal actions, and nobly so. There's going to be statues of him around the world. I don't know what Kobayashi is hoping to achieve. And he doesn't even have a military-grade airplane. It's one of those water boat planes like Indiana Jones.
Seaplane.
It's a seaplane. Yeah.
And And Keiichi's reaction to Kobayashi dying is one cry of no, but then 2 seconds after that obligatory moment, he's telling his co-pilot, "Oh, shoot the mountaintops, and you can bury Godzilla."
We figured out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, which again proves one thing, that Kobayashi is the far better actor.
Oh, 100%.
He's not just a bad
delivering.
character.
Yeah.
No, not at all. You wouldn't know he was the protagonist in this movie.
Yeah.
Both Kobayashi and Hidemi outstage him anytime they're on camera.
For sure. So we get this kind of cockamamie ending of a Godzilla sickle.
Yeah, so so they take round after round of missile attacks on the mountaintop, and every time they shoot missiles, and they're coming off toy model planes, like they look so solid and unnatural.
Yeah.
But whenever these missiles shoot, they do a close up of the missile, and you would have no faith in it because they all just like swirl up, and then these Roman candles shooting off, and I was like, do you know what, fellas? You might not want to do close up on these missile firings because they don't. It's not doing what you thought. But yeah, they shoot enough missiles that eventually Godzilla is just entrapped in layers and layers and layers of clear crystal ice.
Courtesy of the Tokyo skating rink.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's pretty much the end. It is an abrupt finish. I found
very
it pretty
abrupt. There's no wedding epilogue or anything like that. No Kobayashi funeral.
Actually, no, not that. I think the final line of the movie is, we avenged Kobayashi, or
maybe so.
But yeah, no, it's an abrupt finish. It's 82 minutes long, so that's where they chose to save their time or focus, right?
So how are we feeling, Sam? Are we regretting our decision to go back through all these Godzilla movies yet?
No, I'm excited to see where we're going for sure. Do you know the name of the third movie?
I do, but I'll save that for the very end. I'll give it a little stinger.
Okay, great. Yeah, please.
Why don't we move on over to Kaiju Corner?
Absolutely. And we have one to talk about.
So Kaiju Corner is where we dissect and rate the kaiju in the movie. And we only had one kaiju last time. That was Godzilla. But this time, he's got a friend. He's not alone. So I will speak to the second Godzilla very quickly.
Yep.
This second Godzilla, we shouldn't be surprised about because they did hint at the first one. We can assume the second Godzilla was living with the first one in the deep sea caves mentioned in the first movie.
You reckon they were living together?
Maybe so. I assume that they had a little...
Yeah.
They had a little clutch of Godzilla.
That must be an intense group of creatures, right?
Maybe so, yeah. Gojipedia gives this incarnation a height of Gojipedia. It gives them a height of 50 meters, that's 164 feet, and a length of 105 meters, 344 feet. We can assume that this is also a Jurassic period dinosaur, mutated and driven from its habitat by H-bombs.
Yep.
Similar physicality to the first Godzilla. It's also noticeably slimmer. It has a smaller head.
Yep. It is definitely slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
It does it looks like the younger brother of Godzilla.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
But yeah, he's and I'm wiry, okay? So I don't have him. I've got immobility.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe he's a teenager.
Yeah, possibly.
Godzilla-wise. His powers seem to be similar to the first Godzilla. He's got amphibious capabilities, atomic breath, and immense strength and
sharp
durability.
teeth.
Sharp enough to cut through the neck of Anguirus, who is our second kaiju, standing or coming in at a height of 60 meters. Gojipedia lists as 196 feet. I don't know how this is a height. Maybe it's height if he's standing on his hind legs because...
Oh, okay. It's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, because when he's on all fours, he's definitely not taller than Godzilla.
Right.
He also has a length of 100 meters. That's 328 feet. He is based on a mixture of an Ankylosaurus, a Styracosaurus, and a crocodile. And apparently Anguirus was also lying dormant underwater before being awakened and mutated by nuclear bombings.
So if you were to picture this dinosaur, it's on all fours, whereas Godzilla's on his two legs, right? You would assume it was a herbivore, and it has an awful lot of spikes on its back, almost like a hedgehog, but just as a plate along its back, not its whole body.
Yeah, it's got like a carapace and then the spikes on top, right?
Yep, And then the tail also kind of had the spiky club to it, I think, as well.
Yep. And he's got a ring of horns around his head, spikes everywhere.
Exactly. So it's something you'd be pretty familiar with if you know about dinosaurs, where you have the T-Rex and the Triceratops.
Yeah. As mentioned, he sports a ring of horns at the top of his head. He has a single horn on his nose, a la a Triceratops.
Mm-hmm.
Also a carapace, as mentioned, ringed by jagged spikes. His tail is longer than his body, and that's also spiked, and his rear legs are longer than those of his front, which enables some bipedal movement, even though we mostly see the big dude on all fours.
Yeah, he does get off his fours a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, as far as powers go, his numerous abilities, some of which we don't even see just yet in this particular film, they include the ability to burrow deep into the earth. He's got that thorny carapace that protects the bulk of his body, and it can also be used to inflict damage if he does like a body slam on his opponent.
Okay. Well, that's good knowledge. Not on Gojipedia.
He's got an evolution. Well, I think we're going to see that particular action later on in other movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's got this weird evolution. He has several additional brains throughout his body. He has brains in his legs, and he has a brain in his tail, apparently.
That is odd, isn't it?
That is odd.
Why do we know that?
What
role does that play in future movies?
I don't know.
Hopefully Godzilla gets a brain transplant or something.
Maybe. Anguirus is the
I've got
operating surgeon and the donor.
Exactly.
Or maybe Mothra's the surgeon, and Anguirus is just the donor. But he has a sonic roar, which that's what we see cracking Osaka Castle in this one.
That's what we're listening to. It's a sonic.
Yep, and he's got paralytic poison that can be secreted from his spikes and claws. And finally, there were plans for him to have atomic breath like Godzilla, but that reportedly didn't really make it past the design stage in filming. However, it was included in promotional materials for the film. So, how do you feel about these two combatants, Sam? How are we going to rate these two?
Okay, that's difficult. I'm going to go up for bat for Anguirus.
Okay.
Two things I love about him. One is that head wiggle he does.
Yeah.
It is adorable, as we've mentioned before, and oddly cute in a fighting scene. And the other thing I love about him as well is in part of his lore, when they're talking about, you mentioned it before, that these two dinosaurs have a history.
They have a rivalry,
fighting one another. Do you remember what the rivalry is based on?
No, I don't.
Because they explained that Anguirus, he hated other dinosaurs that predated on other dinosaurs.
Right.
So
he's
basically,
a peacekeeper.
he's a peacekeeper. He's Robin Hood. He's fighting the good fight, right, against the predators of the dinosaurs. And I was like, that's a pretty righteous reason to be pissed off. Doesn't need to come to this, but I mean, he's got a better motive than Godzilla has to be angry.
Sure.
I feel.
Speaking of nobility, yeah. Wow.
And it speaks to the future movies, because they're saying there are other dinosaurs, and we know that because Anguirus would defend.
Yes, and that, I guess, foreshadows the role Godzilla is eventually going to take as a protector of the Earth rather than an antagonist to it. All right, so Anguirus, congratulations, Anguirus. However you say your name, you you are our
pointy devil
kaiju champion of the week.
Yeah, it's only fair.
And speaking of champions, we have one more award to dole out, and that is the MVP NPC award. And here in the MVP NPC award, we bestow this great honor to the best background character who either stood out to us visually or captured our hearts in some way. And Sam, who are you bringing to the table?
So I struggled this time around, especially compared to the first time. Like, the first time I was very taken with the man in the committee meeting.
Yeah.
The one I could really find, I'm not sure if it counts, there are a lot more scenes with miniatures in them, with models, whether it's the tanks or even the landing ships on
this
Shinko.
Is quite unconventional, Sam. You're choosing
Shinko Island. But we see a lot more toy soldiers, actual men dressed up like Japanese Coastal Guard soldiers. And they're very monopose, and they look like toy soldiers, and I was like, well, you've stolen my heart. They don't look great, but they also look wonderful.
Okay, so immobile miniature
Yep.
soldiers. Okay. But to oppose these soldiers, I will bring the hard-hatted, binocular-wielding lookout soldiers on the Osaka coastline.
Okay.
They're the ones watching for...
They're kind of narrating, saying, oh, he's coming, oh, he's turned around,
Yes,
oh, the lights are working.
as Godzilla is coming up on the blacked-out Osaka coastline.
And the prisoners are about to blow up.
Right. And these guys, they're making such wild arm gesticulations, and they're bending over the wall, and some of them aren't even looking in the proper direction, and they're screaming. There must be 10 of these guys here for some reason. Really, you only need 1 to 2 lookouts, I think. But there's 10 of them. Some are grinning maniacally, or manically, rather.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I liked about my guy. So I need to check that out again.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a masterclass in overacting.
Sure.
And we have a lot of them to look at.
Oh,
so
overacting is always well.
So I don't know. I like the idea of
He's giving it to a toy soldier.
Giving it to the toys. Yeah.
And they are very charming, I must say.
Yeah.
Once you see them, you can't not see them. Yeah. I'm wonderful.
All right, let's do it.
I give it to them.
We're giving it to the toys.
Who was it last week? Was it the orchestra?
It was the unseen.
Right. So currently we've given it to non-characters and some toy soldiers. The right people are getting the awards.
Oh God. All right. Well, we have one final segment in our show, and that is the newly christened Monster Island bonus picks.
That's right.
So, what else have we been watching, or what are we watching, or what are we going to watch? I'll bring mine first.
Sure.
I watched Bring Her Back recently. I recommended you see it as well. This is the newest horror entry from the Filippo brothers. They are 2 Australian filmmakers, quite young. They originated as a YouTube channel called the Raka Bros, and they also made Talk to Me, which made a very large splash when that first came out. I loved Talk to Me.
That was the YouTube movie, the kind of found footage one.
That's you're thinking Milk and Cereal, I believe.
Milk and Cereal. Yeah,
Talk to Me it was a major release, and it garnered a ton of critical and commercial success, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's basically an allegory for teenage drug abuse and party culture, and how when a party's going on, something terrible can happen, and it's more in line for people, especially young people, to just spectate rather than to try to help what's going on.
Oh, so there's a lot of uncomfortableness of like, why aren't you helping?
Yeah, very much so. Sure. But it was I found it to be a very fun modern horror entry, and for me, Bring Her Back sort of solidified these guys as being like pretty almost at the top of their class, especially for their age. Yeah. As far as young, new-coming horror filmmakers.
Right on.
I think we've got a really great performance from the mother from the Paddington films.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I haven't seen the Paddington movies.
I do know. They're easy. They're fun, easy movies to watch.
I've heard nothing but good things, and I do want to see them.
Yeah, and again, it'll be like 80, 90 minutes. They're an easy thing to digest, for sure.
Yeah, and Bring Her Back, to me, I thought there were some very uncomfortable moments. There is a lot of child abuse. Yeah. It is foster child abuse. Not that makes it any worse or even qualifies it in a different way.
It's some subgenre.
I'm just sort of wanting to be specific. It was a very shocking movie in moments, and I even felt a couple tears welling up near the conclusion, because all of the horror we see, and I know we have different feelings about the movie, so but I think that's great. But I thought there's an undercurrent of sadness there that maybe it wasn't as effective for you, but it was for me. The idea that we would do horrible, horrible things, or some people would do horrible, horrible things to be given a little bit of extra time with someone,
Sure.
or
Sure.
yeah, with someone you've lost. So I have nothing but glowing things to say, other than perhaps there were some unclear moments with how the
Yeah.
demonic ritual in
Massively.
this movie
100%.
is supposed to work. But I also think that that is sort of effective in that I think a good horror movie, especially a good modern horror movie, should leave some questions unanswered. Don't tell me everything. I want to sort of imagine how things work, and I want to make inferences and guesses, because
Yep.
there are some things that are hinted at. There are some things I learned from other podcasts and YouTube essays on this film that I didn't even know when I
Yep.
watched it. I didn't pick up on these things. So hints are there. It's just not spelled out to you perfectly, which I very much appreciated, that they
Okay.
have some respect for the audience. But I've said all that knowing that you have a different opinion. And
so
yeah, what did you
100%
think?
like, and I don't know the context of the directors there really. So my expectations are, I don't really have any. I'm judging this on its own merits, right?
Yeah.
And it's a really pretty movie. You know, it's an 84 movie. It's a very pretty, well shot, high budget,
Yep.
nice scenery movie. It's really well cast. You mentioned there that kind of like maybe the heart of the movie, or what it's about, is this desire to want to be able to spend some more time with someone, and the efforts you would go to for that. I don't think that comes through that well, and I think that's because it's hidden beneath this veneer of the occult and kind of demonology. And I think that's the problem. I don't think the movie, I don't think it goes in heavy enough with one or the other. To me, it feels like most of the movie is this psychological manipulation, abuse between the foster mum, and then there is this occult side. And you speak about how the occult side of it is, it's hinted at pretty on the nose. Like, there's big things like the white ring around the property. You see this reflection in a mirror.
Yep.
You see the foster mum's kind of odd behavior at the funeral, especially with the young man.
Yep. Cutting hair off of the dead father's corpse. Yep.
Yeah. And then seeming very kind of hyper focused on making sure this young man kisses his dead dad on the lips.
Yep.
Like, to an odd extent. And then the most obvious thing is all of this footage that she has, that she's recorded about
Of a ritual. Yep.
Of a specific ritual. But I wanted them to go fully down that route and kind of like Hereditary, just explain to me what's happened. I found it baffling. I was like, so where did you find this information? I was asking my question, so where did you find this from? It doesn't add up with who you are. You know, it makes sense in other movies because you explain this person's part of a cult or whatever. And with her, it's like, so where did you get this from? How did you learn this? So I found that kind of frustratingly unexplained, as well as the young boy that's in the movie. Or is it Ollie or William? And
that is Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie.
A boy
the
that
mute.
the mother has kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly. And we learn who they were, but we don't learn why it was they took this person per se. You kind of get a small explanation. And the other thing is, you are never explained what it is she has done to bring about such a physical and mental change in this young person. I mean, you could use them as an allegory for like child abuse, but I don't think they're doing that for that reason. I think that we need a scary looking child monster for our movie, and this is what it's going to look like. I think that's more the purpose and tool of this character than anything else.
Well, so he is essentially, just to add some context, he is essentially a vessel for the demon,
this resurrection,
or entity that has been summoned through a ritual that has been performed, we believe, off screen.
Yeah.
So I think where our opinions on this movie differ then are the delivery or lack thereof of exposition and background. And I mean, this is, I guess, going to be a matter of taste. In my opinion, a lesser movie would outright tell me or have a character dump exposition of this is what happened.
But you can do that in certain ways. Hereditary does it pretty. I mean, I don't want to keep going back to that one because there are other movies, but you can do it.
Well, that's where I found this is like the Filippo brothers is like homage to Hereditary.
There's a lot of comparisons.
This is them saying we're gonna do a domestic drama, a nightmare drama like Hereditary
between siblings and in the house. Um,
Yeah.
So you can do it well, and it's not. Here's the thing. I think for me it would have been you don't have to explain everything, but I need a bit more so that I'm not constantly asking these questions. So it doesn't have to be the whole thing. I would say the other thing you talked about, the ending. So before we get to the ending, I find the pacing of the movie isn't great. You get these odd moments very early on with the knife, and then later on the skin, where we get these kind of horror moments. Like, they are horrific.
Oh, they're very intense. I think that's a mark of
Yeah.
Australian filmmaking as well.
Yep.
Australian horror filmmaking, because the other Australian horror movies I know of, I think Wolf Creek and
The Babadook.
Australian. Oh, the Babadook, of course, and I think there's one called The Loved Ones as well. That's kind of torture porny.
Sure.
Those are marked as, I mean, Babadook compared to the other two we've just mentioned is much less intense. Yeah, it's more psychological, but the other two are in your face, really fucked up, and
they come.
Yeah, the scene with the knife. Wow.
I feel like you're made to wait for that one, and then you get the skin kind of eating moment, and then the pacing just picks up really fast, because when Wendy, the lead foster counselor person, comes to visit the house, we just go fast forward through the movie. She sees the blood. You get the shocking moment with the vehicle.
It does ramp up considerably.
And Andy gets the feeblest of exits. She just turns his head in the puddle. I was like, oh, okay. So we're just moving on from him as well. So I found those.
Oh, that didn't.
Yeah, it didn't land. I found those moments were either too few or too late, and then a lot all at the same time, and some of it just didn't land, like the drowning. There are other moments when you see the dead father in the shower. Honestly, the thing that made me squirm the most, because a lot of this movie focuses on a shower and a swimming pool.
It's a very wet movie.
It's a wet movie, and nothing makes me cringe harder than seeing people fall over and hit their heads, or, just having an accident when an accident doesn't need to happen. It's like, be careful. Oh, you slipped and hit your head. It's like, oh, really? It makes me squirm in my seats.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do lean on that a little bit.
But then to get to the end itself, and I was pretty peeved off with this ending was.
Oh, really? Okay.
So the ending, and obviously this movie's already been spoiled for you, but if you're listening this far, it's about to get ruined. It's a happy ending per se, because the two young children escape. One of them, the lead character, I suppose, the blind young lady, gets picked up, and
she also, I should very briefly mention, she is not an actor. This is her. She was an unknown that they cast in the movie. Right. I thought she did excellently
absolutely.
For having no training.
You would assume she was a trained actor. Yeah. And as she's being driven away, we hear and see an airplane fly over, which we know from early in the movie means someone's going to heaven. So she's like, my brother's...
I didn't even pick up on that.
My brother's going to heaven. And then the child who's had this demon entity in it for God knows how long,
Ollie,
and is clearly starving because they are constantly asking and trying to get food, manages to escape this white ring, which we learn earlier leads to very violent and painful reactions physically for them. And we know they survive because the police arrive and they say their real name. So we know both kids are okay. We know Andy's going to heaven, and even the villain, the foster carer, dies the way she wants to. She
sort of has a somewhat redemptive ending.
She goes out on her own terms.
Yeah, and I think she also during that ending of the ritual sort of recognizes that what she has become and what she has been doing, and chooses to let the young blind girl escape.
Yep.
I can't remember the character's
name. So I feel, again, not to make the comparison, I'm like, Hereditary knew you didn't have to leave on you don't have to have a nice ending. And I was like, this is all set up to be a very sad ending. That's fine. Let it be a sad ending. Like, maybe the young...
You thought they pulled the punches?
Yeah, especially with the young boy that's got this demon entity in them. But to have the airplane and be like, oh, Andy's going to heaven. I was like, buddy, come on.
I didn't pick up on the saccharine-ness of saccharine nature of the airplane, but that's maybe a point against it in my book too. But The no, I got a tear in my eye when the mother character, the foster mother character was when she realized what she's doing. Yeah, I mean, I still quite liked it. I think you made some good points though.
Honestly, like I know a lot of people who liked it, but if I could take a time machine, I'd be like, Sam, save your money.
Don't go see it.
Like not that it's a bad movie, not that it's a bad movie at all. It's well made for sure, and it's a really compelling idea. I just thought, I was asking more questions and getting angry at stuff that, so it didn't land for me, sadly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I know you are especially not harder. Well, maybe
a bit more,
maybe a little more hard on
discerning and critical,
or critical of modern horror.
For sure. But when it hits really well, honestly, I know it's not that modern at all, but anytime I meet someone who's into horror movies, I always recommend Deadstream as one to watch.
Deadstream's just is a modern classic in my eyes.
But I'll tell you the one thing that really pipped Bring Her Back to the Post. While we were at the pictures watching this movie, we got to see the trailers. Have you seen the trailer for Megan 2.0?
Oh, God. Yes, I have. Not at the theater, but on a cell phone.
Did you see the original?
Yeah, I did.
I know I watched it, and I don't remember having ill will against it. It was probably a pretty okay experience. Like, maybe I was looking at my cell phone.
It was just fun.
But that Megan 2.0 trailer, you could not pay me. Well, you probably could pay me to watch that movie, but I'd expect a decent amount of money. It looks dreadful.
It does look really bad, eh? I
feel terrible saying that.
I did not want a sequel. I don't know. And I think they're teeing it up for a double feature with Abigail, which was the far superior of the two.
I mean, the connection I always make is Chucky. Like, okay, this is Chucky for the 2020s.
It is. Yeah. It is.
But
reconfigured.
I can see how Megan and Annabelle is Justin and Freddy. I can see how those two franchises could
Jason and Freddy
work together, right? Anyhow, it looks dreadful.
Yeah, it does. Agreed. We are going incredibly long, but do you have a Monster Island bonus pick? So, quick takeaway from our impromptu review there of Bring Her Back. I think you should definitely see it. Sam,
go see it. If you
disagrees.
I think most people enjoy it. I'm just cynical old curmudgeon when it comes to some things.
He's a stickler.
Yeah.
But you have two sides of the coin. So hear us out and make your own decision.
For sure.
But do you have a bonus pick?
I don't think I do beyond that. No, okay. Whatever you've got. No, I mean that was the big thing. We went out to see that movie.
Okay. Well, then why don't we finish up? Next time, when you next hear us, we will be time traveling to the swingin' 60s.
Oh, yeah.
For their first ever face-off, 1962's King Kong versus Godzilla.
Okay. Is this in color?
I believe it is. In color.
And is that the title? King Kong versus Godzilla?
King Kong versus Godzilla, yes.
Okie doke. Wow.
So, I hope everyone has a monstrous week. If you want to reach us, you can send us an email at gspotpod@gmail.com. The G in Gspot is G-E-E. spotpod@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined, leave us a review on whatever platform you have checked us out on. That would be much appreciated. All right. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Nice one. Thank you, Raymond. That was fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, very much so. We'll look forward to next time.
Yeah. Bring on Donkey Kong or King Kong.
Hey, I would see a Donkey Kong.
Bring
Godzilla face.
Let's do it.